Hello and welcome to the very first video on Eustachi's AWS Cloud Practitioner Micro Degree. In this video and the next couple of videos, we are going to be talking about problems cloud computing solves. To do that, we are going to be talking about Dan. Dan is an ambitious software developer in Nigeria, and he wants to build a social media platform named danandfriends.com. Dan has a big dream. He wants his platform to be used everywhere around the world. He also wants to be able to detect fake accounts by detecting faces of users with facial recognition software. After writing his code and debugging for weeks, he finally has something to push out to the public. Dan, just like any other developer, decided to simply buy a hosting plan and hosted his code on one of the hosting platforms available, xhost.com in this case. Weeks after launch, danandfriends.com started generating traffic in its hundreds. Posts, likes, and comments started rolling in. Dan was happy. His dream of creating something that works has finally materialized. But little did he know that a big problem is looming. After hitting a high number of traffic consistently, Dan encountered the very first problem. His website started crashing, something that did not happen when he started. He later did some research and found that hosting platforms have restrictions on the number of requests a website hosted on them can handle. Xhost shared hosting, for example, allows a maximum of 200 concurrent connections. That is, the number of possible users that can visit danandfriends.com at once cannot be more than 200. This is going to be a problem. Dan's dream is bigger than hundreds of users. He wants them in their millions. Anyways, Dan decided to move on from this problem and continue with his plan to use facial recognition software on his website. He is going to have to write all the machine learning code himself. Unfortunately, Dan knows absolutely nothing about writing code for machine learning. He has to learn it, and that would take months, but he wants it now. His social media platform is expanding every day. It is clear at this point that Dan needs another solution, especially since he faces other problems, like having to pay monthly for every resource regardless of whether he finished them or not. Some of his users are also complaining his website sometimes takes longer time to load. So what solutions are there for Dan to explore? We are going to talk about this in the next video. See you then.